The year's 1991. Our guest here today is looking to three-peat as a Kentucky High School Wrestling State Champion. And we're going to go ahead and tell you, he does it. But we've got the video. He's never seen it. He's a little bit excited. I'm excited because I've heard all the stories about this guy. And I can't wait to finally get him on the channel and let the world see just how good he was. So, sir, if you would, introduce yourself.
My name is Pat Martz.
And you are the 1988, 1990, and 1991 state champion.
Correct.
Connor High School. Now, this is the 1991 video. We do not have, as of this filming, we don't have 1988, and we don't have the 1990. So if you have those tapes, that's my plug for the video. Please reach out to us, and we'd love to be able to get back with Pat and be able to show his other two state championship years. But let's talk a little bit first about how do you get into wrestling?
Well, matter of fact, you guys have done some videos here today. One of the Cole boys met me when I was probably in the 3rd or 4th grade. They sent it out in school, asked anybody that wanted to start wrestling, so I decided to sign up. And next thing you know, here I am wrestling every day. One of the Cole boys seen me and seen some talent in me and kept pushing and saying, you need to keep wrestling. Never stopped from then on. Probably from 3rd grade on, I was wrestling.
Awesome, man. That's cool. You know, you got other people that you can look up to.
Yep.
And, you know, they've about all of them won state championships. All
Correct.
of them, you know, some of them on the team state title back in '83. So, you know, I'm not saying big brothers, but have that big brother mentality of, hey,
you come from a long line of school that pushed it.
That legacy, that tradition. Yes. So 1988, you win it.
Correct.
1989, you come in second.
Correct. Matter of fact, that year is the year that coach behind me probably threw the most fit because we went into overtime. At the end of overtime, it was still tied.
Oh, my.
In the end of that match, the referees all huddled together because they didn't know who won. And back at that time, at the end of...
Let me pull up your bracket here. Go ahead, keep talking.
Back at the end of the time is the criteria. Then it went to overtime. At the end of the criteria, it was still over, or it was still tied. And when the referees all come together, nobody knew who won. Come to find out, they got to the rule book and found out whoever scored the first point ended up winning the match.
And it looks like it's got you against Atcher from North Hardin.
Correct.
And it's got 5-5 going into overtime.
Correct.
And then the writing says 7-3
Correct.
as the final, but I'm not sure how they come
Correct.
to that.
But that's when at the end of overtime, they didn't even know who won.
My goodness.
So the next thing you know, they raise his hand and we walk off the mat. And I can still remember this today. It is as a sophomore. I don't remember who the other wrestler was. They come over and looked at me and says, that's a sign of a true champion because I didn't throw a fit, didn't get upset, didn't get mad. You know, it was another day. I can wrestle another day and live to be another wrestling day. And we come back and did what we needed to do.
So you won it as a freshman, junior, and senior.
Correct.
That's
correct.
That's pretty good career. But let's go over your 1991 state bracket. But before we do, I like to ask guys that are returning, when you walk into a gym, do people know who you are? They're like, oh my gosh, man, Pat Martz is in the building. We better, keep our feet on the ground.
Well, is a wrestler through high school. I was more of upper body wrestler. We push technique. Coach behind me, he'd get mad at me because he'd want me shooting all the time. And you know what? I didn't like getting down there and get my head beat on. So I'd rather stand on my feet, and I'd rather throw guys. And good arm drags, good foot sweeps, really good balance. That's what I had.
Right.
And in the practice room, I had very good partners. You're going to meet some of my partners here because they were state champs also.
Right.
So we had a good mix. It is I showed them and they showed me how to counter and how to work. So we had a good mix in our practice room.
I got you.
And through the time is going into this match that you got on here is into my junior year. I was wrestling in the summer. As a matter of fact, it was in this building here. At the end of my junior year, I was wrestling in the summer and I tore my ACL and meniscus. And I was still ranked number 1 in the state. And matter of fact, coach was here and he seen it happen in this school. And they come in an ambulance and took me to the hospital from here because I blew my ACL and meniscus.
My goodness.
So by that time, I never walked for 4 months after that because I was probably one of the first ones to ever have an ACL meniscus total reconstruction done. And I remember coming back to school. I was on crutches all summer long. coming back to school after the end of school, coming back to school my senior year on crutches. And I mean, I remember seeing Coach ask me how I was doing. He would keep in contact with me even in the summer. By the time I got back and probably 3 to 4 weeks into the school, they finally took me away from crutches and had me in a brace. And I was bound and determined I was going to be back. But as being a state champ, that was the coolest thing, because when you're on top of that pedestal, it's hard to stay up there.
Yeah.
And being up there, you know, what else do you got to accomplish? There's nothing else to accomplish. I've already done what I've asked to do.
Yep.
But when I had my knee surgery, then it knocked me down onto the ground and saying, hey, I got something to prove now. It's time to come back and prove it, because Coach would rub it in on me all the time. He goes, Pat, you're dropping in the standings. You're going down. But he knew how to motivate me.
Yeah.
And that was the motivating key that made the difference in my senior year. Because I was motivated and dedicated, because you're seeing other people, other coaches says, oh, Martz is back, but he ain't 100%. He ain't nothing like what he used to be. He can't move. He can't do what it takes. But Coach and I proved him wrong.
Yeah, you know, and like nobody sits around and tells, you know, their kids or grandkids, great grands, whatever, you know, Dad beat a guy that was, you know, 0-30. No,
Yep.
Everybody wants to say, Dad beat the state champion. Grandpa beat
Exactly.
the state champion.
Exactly.
You know, especially 3-timer.
Yep.
And nobody's going to put the caveat in, you know, coming off of an AC. I beat him. That,
Right.
Oh, Dad knew what was going on. Dad done it.
Yep.
But let's go over your bracket real quick. The first round, the bracket has you wrestling Lee Glass of Seneca out of
Okay.
Louisville, and you win that by a fall.
Okay.
The second round, you're wrestling, looks like Jeff Simonton from Hoptown. You win that by a 7-0 decision.
Okay. Yep.
The semifinals, you're wrestling Roy Gibbs from Harrison County, and you win that by a 11-2 decision. Roy goes on in 91 and wins, I forget what weight class. He's one of 3 Harrison County state champions, but he wins it in 92. And it's got your record going into the finals, 39-0. You're wrestling from Caldwell County, Troy Nichols.
Correct.
And Troy's record is 45-0.
Correct. And I think he was a returning state champion also, because
Oh.
our weight class that year was stacked.
Mm-hmm.
We were stacked.
Let's see some of the names: Roy Gibbs, Jason Frump, Andy Sullivan, Jimmy Knight, Lee Glass, Mike Massey, Sean Hall from Tate's Creek, James Kane, Daryl Smallwood, Troy Nichols. So some names
Yep.
from the past there. Now,
Yep.
it's been a while since you've seen.
I've never even seen this. I was never one to reminisce about on the old days. I mean, what happened has happened, and we
Right.
live on and go on. I've never seen this video
And-
until you just said this. And it's going to be a treat for me to watch, because
That's all-
I've never seen it.
That's awesome. And, you know, part of this series, I love getting to meet with, you know, gentlemen like yourself. You know, I've seen your name on the end of the bracket for years, seen your name on the KHSA website and all that. But now a lot of people are going to be able to put Matt Time to that name. And that's why I
Correct.
love this. And, you know, thank you for coming
Well,
today
I
and
appreciate
doing
you
this
letting us come in.
and being able to watch this. So we're going to get our you brought your tape on VHS tape.
Yeah, we dug it out. My parents had it, and they dug it out and handed it to me, and I've never even seen it.
All right. So
Never seen it.
We're going to get our TV set up.
Good
We'll
boy.
see you guys back in 1991. Now, when you win a state championship, of course, you get the KHSEA medal. And this is another era. So we know in 1991, they still have the, you guys will see a photo of it, still have the wrestling caricatures around it. Of course, you've got 3 of these, I'm sure, somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going to put this up. But the cool thing is this beautiful Letterman jacket. Now, it's got your...
It doesn't have my senior year on it, but it's got the other years that
Yeah.
I was the state champ.
Let's hold it up here so the camera can see it. It's got state champ 1988, 1990, and on the back it's got the Connor Wrestling, beautiful colors, and it's got your name here on the side.
Yep.
You guys will see some photos of that. But man, thank you for bringing that out. It's in great
Thank
condition. It's like it's been put up somewhere, and I'll give you your medal back to you.
Thank
That
you.
way you can have it. But man, it's
Oh, sorry.
fumble on the plate.
Yeah.
It happens. Thank you for bringing those out, and
Thank you.
I think this is the 3rd or 4th Letterman jacket from Connor
Yes.
that we've had today, and they're all look the same. They're all
Yep.
that,
We ran a tradition,
And-
and that was our tradition.
and it's Coach started that, and I don't know how the youngsters nowadays have their jackets, but I'd have to imagine they're somewhere
like that.
pretty close to that.
Yep.
But it's awesome to have that. So we're going to get our VCR set up here, hook it into our computer, go back to 1991. We'll see you guys there. All right, you guys are seeing what we're seeing, Atherton Gym in Louisville. Now, of course, we put the face-off on before this, just the way the tape was. It was too big of a gap, so I edited it in after the fact. So, man, let's go. Gotta love the way a VCR sounds when it starts up.
Tell we're old. You're young, but we're old.
Yeah. Here we go. Now, who's filming this? Do you remember?
I think it's my oldest brother.
Of course, you're in the white.
Correct.
Connor
Correct.
singlet. That was your all's final singlets.
Correct. Nice little takedown right off the bat.
I've said this in other videos, but every video we have from Atherton, the gym is full.
Correct.
I mean,
it was
just
packed
a pack.
always. And the nice thing is, the difference is you would have schools from up north and down south. It didn't matter if you was in your high school, they still cheered for you because they were in your district.
Right.
I mean, the place would go nuts, even if we was competitive against each other in the season.
Potentially dangerous.
Yep.
Now you can just tell just how violent you move.
Oh yeah. You
had bad intentions.
Yeah, but you guys are gonna end up talking to one of my practice mates every day. You had to be, or you get beat on every day in practice. Hey. So you better go all out at practice. And here we could go as long as you want it.
Yep. So you're getting a near fall count there. Gives you 2 near fall.
Ride some legs. We're on top.
Somebody say this kid's
Yeah.
hurting.
But we were brutal. We were tough.
Going for that guillotine.
Yep.
You're laying all the way back on that arm, man. My
Yep.
goodness.
We want back points. We want to score. We want to get it done.
No, I listen. I
we
got
want
you.
to get it done.
I completely
We
understand.
want to get it done. We're on a mission, and that's what we was pushing. But my senior year, like I said, after having knee surgery, the coaches didn't count on us being there or nothing else. So we got something to prove right now, and we're still here. And there's coming back with a cross face.
Yep.
Everything else wasn't nasty, but when we do it, we're going to do it right.
Do it hard, man. I got you.
And the funny part is, as watching this match, I just caught it in the corner. Coach is not in my corner. He would never sit in my corner because he wouldn't sit still. He would be up, down, pacing. If we kind of watch around the match, that's what I'm looking for to find Coach, because he'll be pacing on the side. He never sat in my corner because he'd get mad at me because I was a thrower, not a shooter. He'd get mad and he would jump up. So you can find him. Watch. We'll see it. I just caught it a minute ago. He wasn't sitting in my corner. He's pacing, mad.
We'll have to look around here.
Yep. You can see him in the corner. Coach is not in the corner right now. He'll be pacing on the side.
Who is in your corner here? Do you remember?
Tom Stellman and Coach Smith, I think, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Those two are in the corner. Because Coach would be mad and he'd be pacing at me. Because you can see me as I'm on my feet. I got poked in the eye here.
Uh-oh.
And I'm on my feet. And I was a much better wrestler on my feet than down. Because I was just very, very quick move.
Right.
Good stance. Explosions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can get a good throw in here. We had good balance. Good up undercuts here. Missed the headlock. We'll pop it out. There we go. Give us 2.
It is.
Good balance. We're already riding right now.
I'm just glad you had the video
Yeah.
so people can see, you know.
Yep. There's a difference. You look at every year, and the neat thing is you're doing this. You can see the intensity levels in different age groups.
Oh yeah.
And in different years.
Yep.
Then you'll see it plateau. Then you'll see it drop off. You'll see it plateau. You'll see it drop off. And at these years, we were mean.
Yeah.
I mean, we were mean.
Good friend of mine, Chris Goss, Sheldon Clark, 1991 state champion from Sheldon Clark, 160 pounds. That's what he talks about. He'll watch the videos like, man, we were just so much meaner, so much tougher than what kids are today.
I'm not saying tougher or anything else, because there's good guys out there at every weight, every year. But we just had that more intensity and working harder. And we never stopped. I mean, we never would stop. You look at the time period in this, we have not stopped yet. And you got two good wrestlers that are wrestling in the center of the mat. Look how many times we went out of bounds. We fought to keep out of bounds because we wanted to stay in the action. We never stopped. And he's moving. We got caught. Back to my base here. All right. We still haven't showed one yet. Now he has. Yep. We haven't given it up yet.
Nope, not yet.
Nope. But we're not going to give up. Still never lost control of it. In trouble, but never lost control. And I don't even know what the score was in this match. I don't even know.
Let's look it up here and see if we can. I've got it pulled up.
This is a boring match. We're not moving.
Let's see.
I'm surprised Coach ain't screaming at me.
There it is. End of the period, so it's going into the third.
6-0. Yep. Hey, we did good. We didn't get scored against yet.
Yeah.
We haven't. We've done good.
But really, though, he's not been in any scoring situations.
No.
I mean, you've controlled it the whole time.
The whole time. Now, my rule was, if I'm on the bottom, I am going to come out. Nobody can hold us down. It is when we were, Craig and I, it was my practice partner.
Right.
That was us at practice. I couldn't hold Craig down, and Craig couldn't hold me down. And that was our rule in practice. We're going to fight each other. And we've already gotten a reversal here.
Yep. So it's 8-0.
Yep. Come on, pull my head down. Let's go with this.
There you go. Good way to find out of it.
Yep. We never went to practice and loped. You can ask Coach on that one. Because Craig and I was practice partners every day. We worked nonstop.
I believe it.
And there was times that Coach would have to pull us two apart because in practice we'd go at it.
Yep.
But then we were best friends afterwards. But that's what made us who we were.
Oh, yeah.
That's who made us who we were.
Now, I thought he hit a Merkle right there, but
He wanted to.
Yep.
he was trying, wasn't he?
Yep.
I thought, yeah. Man, you got the head
We're
on the
wrenching.
mat, buddy.
42 seconds left. It's 8-0.
He's reaching out. Ooh.
Arms tucked.
Yep.
It won't go.
My goodness.
No back wins yet.
Nope. You really like that guillotine, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah. We would. That was Craig. You'll get Craig on it earlier. Craig and I fought that all the time. He'd run it on me all the time.
Uh-oh, reversal.
Yep, that was it.
So I've got you 8-0, or 8-2, I'm
8-2.
sorry. 8-2.
Yep, 8-2. First time I've seen it ever since it happened.
Really?
Yeah. Now I'm upset at myself for giving up 2 with 20 seconds left.
And
But
I think that's all the tape had. Nope, here's the medal ceremony.
nope.
Or, congrats, Pat Martz,
Yeah.
State Wrestling. That's awesome.
Well,
All this footage is on there.
I haven't even seen none of this. So no telling what comes up next. I might be embarrassed.
Yeah, I may have to stop the tape.
Yeah, no telling what's next. That was our home bank.
That's awesome, man.
Wow. That's pretty
Of course, back then, that's the way, parents document. We didn't have Facebook to share stuff and
Yep.
all that.
That's pretty cool.
Hate to stop because there might be something else on it, but
I don't want to know.
I'll tell you what, we'll let it kind of play in the background.
That's cool.
Now, did it play out the way you remembered it?
It is, yeah, because like I said, my senior year I was on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
It is the difference was after having knee surgery, I had to come back.
Right.
And I had teammates that was there to push me, to help me through, to get through. It was an outstanding year because I think that was the first year, Coach, that I ever went undefeated. I think that was.
It was.
Because every year I would be 1 loss or 2 loss. One tournament every year I'd end up getting hurt. One year I think I broke my ankle. Another year I dislocated my shoulder.
Right.
Torn a hamstring. Everything at the same tournament every year. I'd be in the finals and I'd get hurt that year. It was at the beginning of the year, probably the 3rd weekend of the season, and it was my nemesis. I mean, whenever we went to that tournament, I could make the state or the finals at that tournament, but I'd end up hurt. And my senior year is the first time I ever made it through that tournament without hurt. And after that, it was like green light. We're here to go,
My goodness.
and we're going through. We're not gonna be held down or take a loss this year.
I don't know. This is some type of an awards medal ceremony.
Yeah.
Did you win most outstanding this year?
No, I won't say why. On camera, I won't say that one. I promise I
Okay,
wouldn't.
no, that's
I
fine.
wouldn't say why. But my practice partner, we'll just leave it at that one.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Is what it was. Is Coach come to me after the tournament, and he looked at me with a point of upsetness because he thought I should have had it.
That was Dickey. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Coach looked at me and says, "Hey, you lost by 1 or 2 votes. What it was is what it was, but it didn't matter to me. That one wasn't what I was here for.
Right.
I was here on my own mission to do what I needed to do, and at those days, you had a work ethic, and your work ethic was really, really strong. And matter of fact, if that tape's playing, that's probably when they're tallying the votes right there for most outstanding wrestler.
Now, also 91, you had Willie Ennels, 152 pounds. We've done videos with Willie, just looking to get the whole 1991 tape. So, Bub, I got to ask you, finally getting to watch Dad wrestle, what do you think about it?
I'm surprised.
He was good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was really good.
Now I understand how he says he's good at balancing.
Well,
Yep, and like I said, my son's playing football,
Right.
and I told him I'd want to get him out in the wrestling room so he does understand
Right.
balance and understands what it is to work hard. It is never saying a football player doesn't work hard, but in this wrestling room, it's only you.
oh, yeah.
There's nobody else to blame if you lose but yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's how much time you put in here is how
And-
much glory you can win out there.
And, wrestling team just builds football.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
look at, like a school like Johnson Central, Coach Jim Matney was there. He had all those individual wrestling champions and all that, and then ended up winning 2 team football championships.
Yep.
I mean, and you had so many of the, of the 22 on both sides, I think 14, 15 of them was varsity wrestling at some point.
Right. Wrestlers breed football players.
Yep.
Because it's all balance and leverage.
Yep.
And you learn in a practice room about wrestling as balance, leverage, movement.
Yep.
It plays into every sport. And I don't care what you say. It is you can take a wrestler and he can play any sport.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, will he be the best in every sport? No. But he will have the ability to play any sport. A wrestler can go out and shoot a basketball. A wrestler can go out and play football. Anything that you do, it's a wrestler breed.
Yep. No.
But the wrestlers are a different breed.
Yeah. And that's why I got on my YouTuber here, Alex Green, different breed. That's why I call it.
I never even paid attention, but you're right.
Yep,
Is a
that's-
wrestler has to be a different breed. Is any person that's going to go cut weight, if they got to cut weight, anybody that wants to put the hours in that it takes,
Yep.
and you're sweating,
Yep.
and you're working out day after day, and you're going against an opponent that you're hoping you're going to beat. And like I've explained to my son, is you only take one mistake in wrestling and you lose a match.
Yep. Oh, you're
It
right.
is in any other sport that you can make a mistake and still got time to make it up. But as a wrestler, you make one mistake and the match is over.
You know,
So you don't get that second chance.
get caught up. You reach back. You're
Right.
in half. I mean, you're on your back.
Right.
That's the way
It's
it
over.
goes,
There's
man.
no way to get out.
That's it.
I mean, you can peel it off. You can look away, but it's too late by then. You already,
Yep.
you're pinned, or the back points are so much
Yep.
to overcome.
And well, Pat, buddy, it was nice to meeting you.
I appreciate
Thank you
it.
for
Thank
doing
you.
this.
Thanks, guys.
Great addition to the channel because we know, like I said, the early '90s, late '80s. I mean, everybody knows who you are.
Well, thank you.
And the Condor program is
Yeah.
deep, and especially Northern Kentucky. Everybody across the state's going to, I know, enjoy this. Share it
Well,
with your
I appreciate
family.
it. Thanks,
And
guys.
you can have it forever. So that's all we got with Pat for his 1988, 1989, and 1991 state championship years. If you have 89 and 88, please send them to me. We'd love to get back with Pat and be able to show those videos as well. But for now, that's all we got. We'll see you guys on the mats.